Hey, goal! Goal, brother! Goal, goal, goal,
Spreading happiness through and through.
In 2022, over 40,000 visitors explored the Island of Heroes at Neasden Temple in London. Each visitor enjoyed 4 stories. Behind these 4 stories were 1,000 unheard stories. More than 1,000 BAPS volunteers brought this island to life. Some telling the stories, some in the shadows, some behind the scenes, some young, some old, and some not in view at all. 10 days, 120 hours of performances, countless hours of preparations. What motivated them? What kept them together? What kept them going? These 1,000 volunteers had one purpose, and this year, that meant more than anything.
We have the cool, calm waters of Sea of Squirrel, which has an amazing...
Be the boss. Yeah, yeah.
Glue gun.
Stick you in the van. Take it all. What's behind this? Very steady cam.
Why are you actually recording?
So the project actually technically began in late 2019 when we were going to have a grand nagar here in the presence of Param Pujya Mahant Swami Maharaj.
But because of COVID, back in February or March 2020, the program had to be cancelled.
In late 2021, it was decided, okay, now that the COVID pandemic is now slowing and it's more in control, that we still wanted to do this grand nagar as a celebration to Pramukh Swami Maharaj's Shatabdi.
So Pramukh Swami Maharaj's life and message had a lot for all of us to learn, and those values were universal. They apply to people of all backgrounds and different ages. So what we wanted to do was to take his message and see how we could put it in a creative format for children aged 7 to 14, for them to understand and implement into their lives.
Bearing in mind that the Island of Heroes was launching on the 22nd of July 2022. The planning started in January, and it took a while to get that brainstorming right, get the concept right.
So from that brainstorm, we narrowed down to respect in the mountain of Shravan. Then we had hard work in the Sea of Squirrels. We had faith in jungle of Gajendra. And in the village of Shanti, we had in the joy of others lies our own.
And finally, as people exit, there's an ultimate terrain.
So in mid-March, after all the planning had basically finished and the whole implementation phase was beginning, so at that point, we informed Mahant Swami Maharaj because we needed Swami's Ashirwad for sure because of this challenge. And Swami at that point said, કે ડંકો વાગશે.
અને સ્વામી આજે શતાબ્દી વર્ષ છે એટલે બધા ફૂલ સેવામાં છે. અહીંયા બાળનગરી થશે, સ્વામી પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજ નગર થશે. એટલે અમે આપને આપ રાજી થાવ એવી સેવા થાય બધાને સ્વામી બાપાની શતાબ્દીમાં.
હા બસ સારી રીતે થઈ જશે. અને ટંકુ વાગશે.
So a project of this level, the challenges, the biggest challenges were converting a very old school, maybe that was maybe made in the 1900s, into a whole like theme park. For them to enjoy an environment like that needed a lot of work. So this is where the whole decoration team, Puja Nirgunpur Swami, came in to convert that whole area to decorate it in the right way.
293.
I remember when I first was approached by both the Balnagari team and the main Nagar team to help out with decoration. My first response was, who's the decoration team? And both teams were like, kind of scratched their head and said that we'll find people. And so I wasn't too worried, but once work started, I think Bhagwan sent the people that we ended up having, because those people stayed with us till the very end. I think Bhagwan ni dayati, it was through his grace, through Bapa's grace, and also remembering my initial days in Saharanpur, that I remembered that I didn't know anything, but people took patience and took time out to teach me what I knew.
The jabs. You see what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Look from far, check it, and then work your way around first. It's like that, and then go like that. So to help you stay, work your way around first, all around the base. Do the whole base first, go.
And so in the same way, I tried to pass on anything that I knew as well. And slowly we developed a team which I can now say that if there was another festival to come around, they would be fully capable of handling the decoration for that.
So this project was not like any other, where we had Nirgunpur Swami. He was very hands-on with all the work he did. He was there every day helping us throughout the project, making the structures, helping with all the decoration.
And not just that, he was doing more hours than we were. Like, we would go home when we finished, but he would go up to his room and he would start doing all the orders for like more material and whatever else we needed. So he was literally working throughout the clock. Like, so it was obviously going to be a very big project. There's a lot of work to do. So over the week, there was most probably about 100 people that would come in and help us out. And on the weekend, there'll be a lot more.
So from across the whole of London, wider London, all of upcountry, the UK, Europe, Ireland, France. So many volunteers, hundreds of volunteers and hundreds of children from all of these places came together. And I would say, actually, I think it's one of the first times that I've seen so many people from so many different places come together to see a project through to the end like this.
Because I think everyone sort of knew the mammoth task this was and wanted to sort of play their part in Bapa Shatabdi.
I think initially it was just overwhelming first. So I've done decoration for 15 years, but to do something on this scale, it's a mammoth task to take.
Especially when you look into an empty space or an empty room, like, how are you going to bring this back to like what we want to bring to life? And it's like, oh my gosh, is it even possible? Loads of people took time off work, after work, just to come in. So we created a Telegram group where we would just send out a link and loads of people would join. So the first couple of days, there was like so many people joining, it was incredible. At the end of the Telegram group, it was around 360 people who had joined the Telegram group. I don't think we would have been able to do it without them at all.
So honestly, I have no idea what to say.
The volunteers that we had came from a vast variety of backgrounds. We had doctors, we had dentists, aeronautical engineers, investment bankers, and all of them came with zero expectations of what kind or level of seva that they should get. So I think for all of them, you can easily say that I think the driving force was Swami Rajipo.
Mid-May થી લગભગ ચાલુ થશે. Mid-May અપડેટ આપે છે આજે ભાઈ. આ સ્વામી ઓવરઓલ આખો સ્વામી મેપ છે. આખા જે 4 વિભાગ કર્યા છે ને સ્વામી, જંગલ ઓફ ગજેન્દ્ર, પછી સી ઓફ સ્પોર્સ, પછી માઉન્ટેન ઓફ શ્રવણ અને વિલેજ ઓફ શાંતિ. એટલે બાળકોને આમ આખું જે આયોજન કર્યું છે ને એકદમ ઇન્ટરેક્ટિવ કર્યું છે, કેમ કે બહુ બધા આવતા ના હોય ને સ્વામી, ત્યાંની કોઈ સંખ્યા ના હોય, એટલે એકદમ પેલો બાળકને ઇન્ટરેક્ટિવ થાય અને એક રસ જાગે, એ દ્રષ્ટિથી આખું ઇન્ટરેક્ટિવ રીતે બનાવ્યું છે. આખું એક બ્રીફિંગ કરશે. પહેલા છે જંગલ ઓફ ગજેન્દ્ર. એમાં સ્વામી મુખ્ય મેસેજ શું આપવો છે તો ભગવાન સાચા છે. એટલે એક પ્રકારની શ્રદ્ધા જગાડવી છે ભગવાન, કે ભગવાને આપણા માટે ઘણું કર્યું છે અને ભગવાન આપણી પ્રાર્થનાઓ પણ સાંભળે છે. પછી સ્વામી માઉન્ટેન ઓફ શ્રવણ, એટલે આખી શ્રવણની વાર્તા કરશે અને એકદમ યુનિક રીતે કરશે. પણ એમાંથી ટેક હોમ મેસેજ કયો સ્વામી? તો બધા રિસ્પેક્ટ કરે, ઘરમાં બધા જે સભ્યો હોય એને, પછી એકબીજાને રિસ્પેક્ટ કરે અને આપણું જે એન્વાયરમેન્ટ છે, પછી ઝાડ પાનને પાણી પાવું વગેરે, આખું જે એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ફ્રેન્ડલી થવું આપણે, પણ એને બગાડવું નહીં. પછી આ ત્રીજો વિભાગ છે સ્વામી. ત્રીજા વિભાગમાં મુખ્ય ટેક હોમ મેસેજ શું છે તો હાર્ડવર્ક સ્વામી. કે આ ખિસકોલી નાની હતી પણ એને મનમાં વૃત્તિ હતી કે મારે હાર્ડવર્ક કરવું છે અને રામ ભગવાનને મદદરૂપ થવું છે. પછી શાંતિનો વિલેજ ઓફ શાંતિ, એટલે પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજ ઉપર. એમાં મુખ્ય વેલ્યુ શું શીખવાની છે તો ધ સિક્રેટ ઓફ હેપીનેસ. એટલે આપણે સુખી થવું હોય તો એનું સિક્રેટ શું છે તો એ આપણે શાંતિના વિલેજ ઓફ શાંતિમાંથી શીખવા મળશે.
So lots and lots of challenges that all these teams, the team of technology, AV team, the decoration team, the content creation graphics team, even the sound team, the AV team in terms of the sound audio, they thought through so many things to immerse the kids into the whole island. And even the content creation team, they created flexes and graphics that could be put on the wall to make it seem even bigger than it is. So overall, everyone came together to create an environment that kids could immerse themselves into to really feel part of the experience.
In Granth Science Vato, it says that only seva doesn't help you progress in satsang and only gnan doesn't help you progress in satsang. Only when you do both do you progress. And so in line with that, every single evening from around 7:20 to 7:45, we'd organize goshtis with different santos. Whether that day had a lot of problems in it or things were going wrong that day, but that evening goshti, that evening small katha from the santos really did help people align their thoughts with the Satpurusha's thoughts.
Whilst we were doing these goshtis throughout the couple months, I think every sant from Nanda Mandir did goshti with us at least once. And not just that, but there were santos here visiting from India for Parayans, so people like Bhakti Sagar Swami, Srirang Swami, Premwadan Swami, etc.
In my lifetime, I've never had that. I've had a boost at the beginning and then never a boost that's kept me going all the way through. And that was really nice to hear every day, to be able to have that gatha and just to get that 20-minute boost that you need just to get you re-energized to carry on.
Especially if you've been working on site all day and the heat has been incredible in the 40s. So having to do physical work as well as get things done was really, really hard. So getting that boost of katha really, really helped.
ભોજન પછી આપણે સૌ બધા સેવામાં જોડાઈશું પાછા. જય સ્વામિનારાયણ.
And so you see that the driving factor was, I want to make Swami Raji, I want to work for Bapa Shatabdi, and I'm never going to, as Swami said in one of his Ashirwads in January, okay, if you don't do Seva and Shatabdi, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. And many of them took that on board, and you see that in the Seva they did.
So the vision for the Balnagri was for the kids by the kids. So the kids themselves, the Balaks and Balikas themselves will be performing, guiding, acting, dancing, speaking. It was going to be by the kids.
So across the country, we held practices. We called them sump camps. And the first sump camp was on the 30th of May. And that was almost the launch for the content delivering volunteers.
We needed over 400-500 Balaks and Balikas children of all ages, and we needed to know what they can do, what their skill sets were, and to decipher what seva they will do at the time. And so for that, we needed to have auditions.
They knew from the beginning, yeah, this is our turn. to give back to Pramukh Swami, our turn to show our appreciation for Bapa.
Very nice.
It's not just a training day. It's not just a way to get understand who are going to be our stars of the show. But it was also to help them foster a sense of friendship.
They are coming into this island as young heroes who have a lot to learn. And they're using the ultimate hero, our gurus, Pramukh Sai Maharaj and Mahant Sai Maharaj, as a guide to learn these qualities.
2, 3, 4, reading and speak up.
I don't think we could have ever done as much as he has, collectively even. But the small things that we can do, I think everyone does with so much enthusiasm, so much love for him. And I think that's why it's so possible.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's really good. Well done, mate. Good.
સ્વામી બાપા જય સ્વામિનારાયણ.
જય સ્વામિનારાયણ.
સ્વામી સંભળાય છે?
હા.
જય સ્વામિનારાયણ સ્વામી બાપા.
જય સ્વામિનારાયણ.
જય સ્વામી. બધા બાળકો વગરને say જય સ્વામિનારાયણ સ્વામી. 1, 2, 3. અને સ્વામી આપ છેક સુરત છો અને હજારો માઇલ દૂર આ સૌ બાલ બાલિકાઓ કાર્યકરો સંતો બધા છે પણ એવું અત્યારે અનુભવાય છે કે આપ સાવ નજીક છો સ્વામી.
The reason it was on a Monday was because on that Monday Mahant Sai Maharaj was going to give live darshan, live ashirwad to all of the and live interactions to all of the balaks and balikas on that day. I would say that day, the 30th of May, was the single most important day in this whole process. Because on that day, Swami launched the Bal Nagari for the kids. Swami launched it for all of the karyakars.
You can't move because this thing moves, yeah? There's...
Ready? Alright, you got sync?
Audio sync, synchronize Premiere Pro.
Oh, you're just going to click the button, eh? Yeah, well, this helps. My name is Dhyan, and I have been involved with the delivery of the technical side of the Island of Heroes. So a few months ago, Pujagun Kirtan Swami contacted me. I'd been part of the expo within Dubai, of which I'd been a part of some of the activations and pavilions there. And they wanted to use some of the expertise that I had gained there and been able to offer and use that to implement within the Nagari.
We needed to add that technology. So that's where AV, the whole AV team and the whole AV department had to be very involved.
So, I reviewed those plans with Swami and the Island of Heroes team.
So Dhyan would have to make drawings according to measurements that we would have to go and take. The team here would have to go and take at the school because it's such an old school, there weren't plans that had accurate measurements. So a lot of measurements had to be taken, sent to him, and then he would have to work with companies and work with people in Dubai as well as from here, especially with companies from here to hire all the equipment, to decide what equipment and how much is needed for the different areas.
This kind of event, we would have expected at least 5 to 10 site visits, multiple weekly meetings, but just through the fact of distance, I lived in Dubai, events taking place in London, all of that wasn't possible. But with the team effort, the Surabha and the Ekta that the team had, it all came together, and just listening to the feedback now, it's phenomenal.
Kiran, how's it looking?
So the scripting for each thing was had to be done very well, very thoroughly. The Mountain of Shravan scripting was done fully by the Mela wing, by the ladies' side, the Balika and Kishori Karyakars. And then it went to the musical production. So we'd have meetings with the production team, so Tapas and Guru Kirtan Swami especially. But even during production, so while we're recording it, then new ideas would come. And even then, the great thing is everyone was so adaptable. Like, for example, the morals in the village of Shanti. So when the actual messaging happened, initially it was scripted just to be prose. So just a conversation between the two main actors. And it was just going to be said like that. But then while talking and while discussing between the team and while actually recording, the idea came, okay, why not make this poetic? And then suddenly, like Guru Kirtan Swami put some chords on, and then everyone sang. So let's go on a journey. Oh yeah, the last thing. But is it kids?
Turning it into a reality involved audio design. We started to create a cue track for each production. And so once this step 1 is done of the cue track and skeleton track, step 2 in the audio design is adding the musical instruments, the sounds and the sound effects to really uplift the track. And for this, Prinal Bhai worked really hard on it. And let me show you an example of what he did. Here we can see the Village of Shanti project, where each of these layers is an instrument or a voice, and there are a total of 200 of these tracks. Let's go to where the villager is introducing the village.
Spreading happiness through and through.
And here we have the bright saxophone starting off with cheery claps and clicks, guitars, piano and strings in the background. No rhythmic percussion, but it is the brass instruments here that you can see that are giving that bright, cheery feel and happy introduction to the village of Shanti. The chorus singing and all the voices.
Stop!
Sure, let's go to another area where we're about to be transported by the Shanti tree and look at the percussion. We have a bit of tabla here that's going to start, and we have the sound effect of us traveling through time starting here. And then we have dole and programmed rhythm. This is the rhythmic feel as we are being transported through time and space. These are the atmospheric pads. And finally the voices take us to Pramukh Swami. Within that, he fused both the English Broadway type of musical sounds as well as keeping true to our Indian and traditional feel according to the audience that we have. Moving on to step 3 involves recording the vocalists.
You should just say, like I said, you should just stay calm.
Oh,
Let him do that one. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Are you ready for the Festival of Inspiration this summer?
Are you ready for the Festival of Inspiration this summer?
Okay, that's
7 C's instead.
No, because the beat doesn't, the chord doesn't change on that.
Okay.
It changes on the da 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 da. Okay. Recording.
This tree is full of his stories that span across the 7 seas.
And Tapas Bhai was very influential in that. And between him and myself, we recorded the male and female voices. After step 3, which were the vocal recordings, the vocals, the music, the sounds, they all get mixed together. And it's a very important step, because what you hear sitting in the audience, you have to hear the right amount of voice, the right amount of music, the right amount of sounds, bells, jingles, crackles, and effects.
But keep that one thing, just do it.
Forever making us happy,
forever making us happy, forever making us happy.
With only a few days left and so much to do, if you were to walk there and look at the grounds, it was really impossible. It seemed. So at that point, there was a heat wave going on and practices were going on here at the mandir, and the deadlines, the tight deadlines.
Gunkindan Swami must have had a call with Swami Maharaj, and he just mentioned to him that there's been quite a few hurdles along the way. And then Swami said, he goes, "Vando nahi aave, par padi jase."
લંડન બધું નિર્વિઘ્ન રીતે પાર પડી જશે વેધર પણ બધાને અનુકૂળ રહેશે.
I think it was those words that gave us all the extra bit of boost in terms of knowing that, okay, whatever hurdles come our way, it's fine. Swami said, "Par padi jase," it means that it will happen. We will be able to push through. And so whether we can see the end or not, he can see the end.
And so Swami said very clearly, "Badu nirvighne paad padi jase." He said it twice. So that gave a lot of boost to everyone. It was sent, everyone was told, Swami said there will be no obstacles. And he said that even the weather will be anukur. So the weather will all work out. At that time it was a heat wave. The heat wave went. The forecast was for rain for half of the days of the Nagar, but not a drop of rain fell during the 10 days.
So even until the very last night before the Nagari opened, we were still working on the gate, we were still working on some of the rooms within the Bal Nagari. But knowing that Swami said it will get done and it will get done to the level that we wanted it to, gave us that bar in terms of going forward.
તો આજે આપણે અમારી બાલનગરીનું આપની સાનિધ્યમાં, આપની દિવ્ય સાનિધ્યમાં એનું ઉદ્ઘાટન કરવાના છે સ્વામી બાપા. તો હવે અમે આપને એક રિક્વેસ્ટ કરીએ છીએ, પ્રાર્થના કરીએ છીએ કે અમારે બાલનગરીના ઉદ્ઘાટન માટે બાપા આપ પોતે ત્યાં સુરતમાં કર્ણાટકમાં બેઠા ડંકો મારો બાપા. બાપા આપણા માટે હવે ડંકો મારશે. તો વી વિલ ઓલ ગેટ રેડી.
પ્રમુખ સાહેબ મારા શતાબ્દી મહોત્સવની જય જય જય.
So now the day came, 22nd July. It was a Friday, and everyone was buzzing. Even though they were tired, keeping Swami in mind, remembering how he'd opened all of the different terrains. All the barracks were in position, the karyakars were ready. So right at the opening gate, there were volunteers ready to welcome people as they came.
Jai Swaminarayan Swami Bappa, Jai Swaminarayan. We are all the explorers on the island of heroes, Swami. અમે બધા કેવી રીતે હીરો બની શકીએ તે જ માટે આ આઇલેન્ડ ઉપર આવ્યા છે.
So the airport area, the opening area, there were karyakars ready to register people.
તો સ્વામી આપ અમારા ગાઈડ બનશો ને?
High or low, fast or slow, wherever you go, become a future hero.
So firstly, the smrtis that Swami gave on 30th of May, when the Nagar opened, those smrtis became very live to everyone because Swami had opened the Nagar on 30th of May. And in all of those places, everyone remembered what Swami had done then. So that was a real divine presence of Swami that we felt through smrti.
Doing great seva, and we will not even understand now today the legacy that we are leaving, the impact that it will have on the future generations, because it is affecting the lives of so many children, because they are learning about values, they are learning about sanskars, and they are learning about the life of someone great like Pramukh Swami Maharaj.
So when we were discussing how it was going to work day by day in terms of an operations perspective, it was important we understood the welfare needs of the Garikas and the Balikas.
Oh, yes.
Because 120 hours of performances is going to be a killer for anyone. So it was important that we had regular breaks and also a shift change if required. And then every hour or so, depending on how the productions work, they would rotate with each other.
So this was something that I was very, very worried about, of how these little barikas would be able to last the whole day without losing their voice, without being exhausted. And it's been amazing to see how enthusiastic they are.
One of the aspects we considered was, what if we split the day into two and have multiple groups in the first shift and multiple groups in the second shift?
So, now it's Pramukh Swami Maharaj live like this, he feeds his food like this, and we have a similar thing.
And that way we can provide an opportunity for everyone to get involved, but also not tire them out and make sure they can do a better job at their seva.
Sometimes I tell them to take half a day off, but they want to be there and they want to help and do as much as they can in the seva. Even when it's not their shift or their rota, they'll still turn up and they'll ask me if there's something they could do.
This year it is Pramukh Swami Maharaj's Shatabdi, which means it is his 100th centennial birth anniversary, and I'd like to celebrate that, and this is the way I celebrate that.
We have been here for around 10 days now, and I am in the ultimate train as a train explorer, guiding the people to the ultimate train. I remember a few guests, they were very happy that I came from Ireland.
It's been an amazing time. This is the first time we've all stayed over at the mandir together, and it's been an amazing experience. Staying up in the Haveli, waking up in the mornings, going to Mangla Arati, Shangar Arati, and yeah, just getting the darshan of all the santos, getting to know people.
First day I came here, I didn't know anybody, but as I walked around, people started to say hi, hello, what's your name, all those other questions, and this is how the basis of friendship came along.
And I've seen Village of Shanti. Village of Shanti was so emotional, but it was really good as well. Seal Squirrels, obstacle courses were phenomenal. Then we got Jungle of Agenda. I've watched this, different experience. Jungle of Agenda seems like a life to me. And then the one and only Mountain of Shaban, it's been a great experience. Thank you.
So we had to think of a way, what can we do to make sure everyone has an opportunity for seva, but they also don't get tired out, and we can also logistically support them, whether it be for breaks, for food or drinks. All the simple stuff that seems very simple, but in actuality is very difficult to manage on the day.
We have a team of 10s and gents side and 10s and ladies side. So we do breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Did
you hear about the claustrophobic astronaut? He needed a little space.
You want to come there, okay? Okay. And that's where we'll have a special surprise.
Wait, can I perform?
No.
Welcome, explorers. Please note, this unique UV light, the jungle explorers and you must be the brave ones who will be joining us in exploring this terrain.
So one of the challenges was within time, how do we have the Baraks and Barikas guide the groups of visitors through the whole island?
And essentially, we came together, we chose Baraks through the audition process, who was good at acting, who was good at speaking, any Barak that had that capability in them, we just chose.
So they would be there at the terrain. They would introduce the terrain to the groups that would go in, groups of maybe 15, 20 that would be going into each terrain. And they'd take them through each room. So to the production, they'd take them and they'd talk them through that. Then they'd take them to the activity and run the activity with them as well.
We manage around 150 barracks, and we would teach them interpersonal skills. So what to do when guests come, how to say things.
And it was very, very inspiring to see they could remember all the lines, and with such enthusiasm, they were actually saying their lines, they were moving around, doing actions.
One particular Kishori who was so shy at the beginning, and now she's amazing. Like when she speaks to people, she's amazing. And we've had such good feedback from the parenting Sunbreak team who have just been watching her at the end bring these families, and they're like, she's so well spoken, she's so confident.
So whenever I go up to an adult, in my mind, I pray to Bapa to give me the strength so that I can walk up to them and just talk to them naturally. What inspired me was there was this 8-year-old child who's the youngest out of all of us, and he was doing the hardest script, and that's the ultimate terrain, and that's really hard. And if you're 8-year-old, you know how scary it is. Like, you're younger than everyone, you think people wouldn't talk to you. And he was 8 years old, and he said that I want to make Bapa Raji. So every one of us that were there, we all got inspired by him.
The Little Heroes Forest has its own story. It was a fairly small idea to start off with, and then the ideas kept forming. Many young mothers kept adding to the ideas, and at the end we are where we are, with an incredible array of activities that children under the age of 7 can enjoy with their families, and also learn morals and values from these stories as well.
તો સ્વામી, આપ કૃપા કરીને અમને દર્શાવો, અમને બતાવો કે અમારું પેલું ભૂપ્રદેશ શું છે. What is our first terrain? Everyone, let's give Swami a massive drum roll. Come on, let's give Swami a massive drum roll.
For 10 days, you guys have absolutely killed it, yeah? In this hot, with the UV on, in front of so many people. And to think that all these kids, the hardest thing many of you have ever done in this much time, the barracks have been on rotation in these hot costumes. That's why Mahant Swami Maharaj twice came through, during the time to give us double birth in the Ashirad. And then today, randomly, with no planning, Swami said he wanted to come. Swami came into this room today, yeah? Listen. I think there's 2 reasons, yes, Swami came. One to give us birth. One is to give us the strength to get through the whole thing. Second, he was drawn in by the sump of this group, yeah? Amazing sump that we've seen, yeah? From everyone, especially the jog squad. So well done, everyone. You guys killed it. So we're going to do a big chain out that you go through. Swami Bhagwan Shata Maharaj Pramukh Swami Maharaj Swami Maharaj Swami Maharaj Shatabdi
So the jungle of Gajendra is one of the 4 terrains within the island of heroes, and it's a story depicting the king of elephants, whose name was Gajendra, which is a story from the Bhagavad Puran. So the first room they enter is a musical production. The whole production is under UV lighting. We have live animal props, Gajendra and the crocodile. And then after that, they enter the escape room. And then in the escape room, they have loads of different children's activities that they can complete. Once they complete that, they then enter the jungle mandir, where they then offer their prayers to the murtis within the temple. We found that, in theatre and in the West End, they do use live prop animals, big costumes with actors or operators inside them. This is something we thought of, and we wasn't sure if it was achievable or not, but it was something that we thought that, the team could be up for the challenge and really design and, produce something like this.
Gajendra, Gajendra, the elephant king was he.
Gajendra, Gajendra, powerful as can be. A gigantic crocodile full of fuming anger swam there with lightning speed.
We also had the actors, the operators, and the jungle monkey dancers, which were the Bardaks. For I think 3 or 4 weekends, they were coming in and practicing their dances. The thing with the operators that were in the costumes, the first time they were in the Gajendra and the crocodile costume was actually on the first day, which was the launch. So they really had to adapt quickly. They'd done an impressive job. I actually went in there myself and tell me it's not an easy job to do.
Crushed the crocodile in one swoop, Gajendra freed at last.
It's just inspiring to see them really pull through, and even if their friends that come down to replace them aren't there on time, they are happy, more than happy to do a couple more shows just so that they can help each other out, allow each other to have that rest period. And it's just a great friendship and a unity to have amongst the operators.
Keep faith in God always, no matter what life says. Pray to God on all days, for in your heart He stays.
હવે આપ કૃપા કરીને અમને દર્શાવો કે અમારું સેકન્ડ ટેરેન, સેકન્ડ ભૂપ્રદેશ એટલે શું છે? સ્વામી, everybody, let's give Swami a massive drum roll.
Come on, everyone, let's go. What's the second terrain going to be?
We knew the story of Shravan, and we knew that it was, an incredible and very inspirational story that we wanted to use to teach the children. And we knew that we wanted to really highlight the quality of respect. So respecting parents, respecting each other, and respecting the environment. So many people would benefit from that going forward. It taught such an important value to children, and even parents, even people my age, anyone that visits it, such an incredible value to learn.
The other aspect of respect was respecting each other and respecting everyone around the world, regardless of their background. And through the medium of UV lighting, we were able to show that, yes, everyone may appear differently, but actually we are all the same. For the final aspect of respect, which was the environment, we decided to get Mother Earth to tell her own story and show what we are doing to the environment and what we can do to help. And so we decided to create a 4D experience.
Basically, in this bit, Mum and Dad are going to get on, and Shravan's going to get on, and then this, she's going to be up. You see? And then you guys go all the way to this.
Son, we don't have long left to live. If only we could go on a pilgrimage.
And it's an opportunity that they've never done something like this before. And through the Mandir and through BAPS, they receive the opportunity to be part of a shadow dance, and also having the confidence to perform in front of an audience. One of the main things that we wanted to do was give Barikas of all ages the opportunity to take part in this dance, and as many Barikas as we could. So we ended up creating 8 groups of around 7 to 8 Barikas each. So it's around 60 Barikas in total. That the age range is starting from 8 years old, going up all the way to about 12.
In the temples they prayed wholeheartedly. The smiles on their faces I was pleased to see. In the temples they prayed wholeheartedly. The smiles on their faces I was pleased to see. So when they said, "Son, we are so thirsty, please."
Every Balika group would have their own setup, their own projector, their own room, their own space to practice in. And the Balikas would come every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, to learn the shadow dance. And obviously, closer to the time, we realised actually we needed a lot more practice. So we also started doing weekday practices, so Thursdays, Fridays. Again, girls came after school, straight from school. A lot of the parents would come straight to Mum. They would bring their children here. Some girls, even from South East London, from East London, would still make the effort to come to practice. I think the most kind of satisfying thing for me was when we started the real performances and the excitement on their faces, and when they're all hugging each other and when they're all supporting each other, and just seeing how Balikas have genuinely come together, as one unit to perform something for Pramukh Maharaj, and how their minds and hearts have also connected in this way has been really incredible to see. And I think, again, that sump and that unity that has been built between not just the girls within particular groups, but between all 60 girls and the Gayakas as well that are in the shadow dance.
We want everyone to make sure you're flexible. We want everyone to be really graceful as well. So when you come and you start, you don't just like walk on and go like this. You see how she becomes a cradle like that, and then he came and he pushed her, so then she starts moving. And then you kind of imagine your baby is here and you pick up the baby like that.
What was that? The pain is unbearable.
It means a lot to every Balika and every Balika's parents to have them in this seva, to have them in Balnagri. Maybe they won't understand it now, but in years to come, at least they'll remember that actually during Pramukh Maharaj's Shatabdi Mahotsav, we did something small. We did a shadow play, whatever that might be.
And now I know how much they mean to me. Now I know how much they mean to me. This is my final wish. This is my final wish. My final plea.
We took the challenge on. We tried our best to get as many Balikas involved as possible, but through Bapa's grace, I think slowly, genuinely, he's probably done Pravesh in every Balika and helped us to get to this stage.
Remember what we said, okay? This is our last week of the yeah, we've done so much for us. Is this fine? We've done so much for us. What we say? Let's forget everything else. Enjoy this moment. Remember everything that was done for us. We want to do the same practice, okay?
Welcome to those who came us this morning as well, and how happy he was to see one of our friends on trip. Ready? On the count of 3.
Respect your parents every day. Respect each other in every way. Respect the environment night and day. Respect everything that I pray.
Swami, Have Triju Bhu Pradesh, our third terrain. So everybody, let's give Swami a massive drum roll.
Everyone, let's
Come
get
on,
that
everybody.
drum roll going. What's it gonna be this time, everyone?
We are the squirrels of love. We are the squirrels.
The Sea of Squirrels is made up of 2 rooms. In the first room, we are covering an animation which shows the squirrels putting in hard work to help Ram Bhagwan build the bridge. They were doing this through different mediums, using pebbles, sand, things like that to fill in the little cracks of the bridge as much as they could. In the second room, we have the obstacle course, and that is comprised of 6 different activities, and each activity we're trying to bring across one value for each activity.
In this way, we decided to first of all have the story of the squirrels from the Ramayana, so the children are able to see and look at an ideal example of how they can make a difference.
We got the actual storyboard checked. Then after, we sent it to an external company in Dubai, and then they started working on the story and the animation.
And then to implement aim and determination, then we put in an obstacle course so they could practically do those things while also having fun.
There, young man. I know you care, but this hard work, we can't share. They are big and we are small. We are short and they are tall.
Over the past few weeks, and even the past few days, during the Island of Heroes, we've seen a stark difference in the children. They've learnt so much just by being here, by being around their peers, around volunteers and guiders. And it's amazing to see children wanting to come back day after day, doing pretty much the same thing, but with renewed levels of enthusiasm. The way that they interact with the public, with each other, it's incredible to see.
We are the squirrels of love. We are the squirrels of love.
Hard work and effort, even if you are small, leads to progress for one and all. But keep unity and throw laziness away. Hard work plus prayer gives success every day.
Have Swami, Chillo Bhupradesh, one more terrain. Let's give Swami a massive drum roll. Aap krupa karine humne darshao ki Chhellu Bhupradesh etle shu.
Come on everyone, one more time. Which one is it? There's only one left. Come on. Ooh, yes.
All right, boys, listen up. This is our last show. You guys have put in so much effort the last 10 days. You've all come together, you've shown some. You've made Paparaji. You've done an incredible job. No one else that I can think of could do a good job, the best job that you lot have done. Okay? You guys have genuinely made Bapa so Raji. So for this last show, let's have the best effort. Let's make this the best ever show, okay? Are you boys ready?
Yeah! Boys ready?
Hey, the village of Shanti welcomes you and shows us the right things to do. Pramukh Swami was born here, spreading happiness through and through.
So I think there are 3 key main messages in the Village of Shanti production. The first one is to do with Rilesh's Prasang. In that, it depicts Pramukh Swami Maharaj's vast bhiro that he went through and all the padharmanis that he did. The second thing is Tilak's Prasang, where Pramukh Swami Maharaj, out of his busy schedule, he wrote a reply to Tilak's mother. So it shows that, first of all, that Pramukh Swami Maharaj was able to connect with all types of people, all ages, all genders, everybody. But also that Pramukh Swami Maharaj was so busy meeting prime ministers, dignitaries, yet he was able to take time out for all his Hari Bhaktas. And the third thing was that during the Bhuj earthquake, for the relief karya for that, Pramukh Swami Maharaj took out time to make sure that all the Bhuj villagers were able to, were taken care of And so it just shows that whether Pramukh Swami Maharaj knows you or he doesn't know you, he still takes care of you. Through those 3 prasangs, we were able to get the key messages from Pramukh Swami Maharaj's life out and able to end the whole production on the whole idea of Pramukh Swami Maharaj's Jivan Bhavna, in the joy of others lies our own.
This tree is full of his stories that span
I just met Pramukh Swami.
Nice! We're at Rilesh's village.
I just met Pramukh.
A cue track was recorded a few weeks before the actual Bal Nagri.
This grand tree seen the life of young Shanti, who grew up to be the great Pramukh Swami. This grand tree seen the life of young Shanti, who grew up to be the great Pramukh Swami.
I think a massive effort though was put in by the AV department, and they took our production level from here to here. During sump camps, we were able to filter down between who was able to act better, who might be a better dancer for Jungle of Gajendra and things like that. And then from those various audition and rounds, we were able to create our cast.
Making everyone happy. Oh, this is Pramukh Swami. Making everyone happy.
Throughout this whole process, you realize that when these kids were able to pull it off, it was only due to Bapa. Bapa no pravesh, Bapa did everything to get these kids ready. Because these kids, their first full run through was the actual Nagar itself. But I think you go through this, you watch this whole thing now, and now you know, you have like full vishwas, hand on heart, yeah, that anything that's going wrong, if it's for Mandir, if it's for Bapa, Bapa is going to be there to solve it. Because it's not us doing anything, it's Bapa doing everything. And this process isn't for us to make a good production, or us to put nice lights on, or us to make people happy. It's for us, it's for our ghartar, it's for us to gain Bapa's Rajipo.
Me and you rebuild the houses, rebuild the villages, rebuild our lives again.
So this production was made for an external audience, so they could understand the values in Pramukh Swami Maharaj's life. But I think throughout the whole process, we were able to understand that those same values that we're trying to script in the perfect way with the right words, with the right messaging, and we're making sure that the external audience can get it perfected. We haven't got that perfected in our own lives. This script writing process, this whole production process was merely a process for us to be able to understand our Guru better and understand his values and imbibe those values, try and imbibe those values in our lives as well.
I have my passport, the Island of Heroes. I went all round, and you know, I was reflecting when I was in, I think it's the village of Shanti, yeah? And I saw that photograph up on the left-hand side of the stage, seeing him on that child's swing, leaning back, laughing, the joy that he was able to inspire in others by his service, by his humility, by simply being who he was. His inspiration, I think, lingers in all of our souls.
And even village of Shanti, you know, making everyone happy. My child, like I said, is 4 years old. He wants to watch Peppa Pig and he wants to watch Coco Melon. But right now, he's not watched Peppa Pig. He's like, Daddy, I want to go and watch Village of Shanti. And I've probably seen Village of Shanti now with my children about 15 times.
I think the main purpose was for people to go away with, and as it is sung at the end, that Pramukh Swami Maharaj made us all happy. If everyone goes away with that, then that's our Shatabdi done.
Pramukh Swami Maharaj, Shatabdi Mahotsavi, Pramukh Swami made us all happy. Before everyone expecting nothing in return, the joy of others lies our own. In the joy of others lies our own. Thank you, Pramukh Swami, for making everyone happy. Thank you, Pramukh Swami, for making all of us happy. Thank you, Pramukh Swami, forever making us happy. Forever making us happy. Forever making us happy.
How are you? Are you happy? Thank you. Be happy by serving one and all. Be happy by remaining forever small. From Pramukh Swami, this we learn. He lived for us, night it's our turn.
Come on, let's give Swami a massive drum roll.
The heroes of the future are...
वाह स्वामी स्वामी आपने અમને લખી આપ્યું સ્વામી આપ કૃપા કરીને અમને જણાવો કે આપે શું લખ્યું હતું.
You are Swami's heroes of the future.
So as we first walk into the ultimate train, we have a Mandir model, and the message there is that Mandira where heroes are made. Then we went into pledge pillars. So at the pledge pillars, everyone was asked to write a small pledge about how they can better themselves. Everyone had something different to say, and it was very evident that they'd learned a huge amount through the entire Island of Heroes.
I've often seen people pray for their relatives or like for their friends, and it's really touching that they've kind of had a chance to reflect on their lives throughout the terrains.
Then the next bit was the mirror area, a sign which said Heroes of the Future. And this is really making it obvious that to find the heroes of the future, all that the children had to do was look in the mirror. And then the last main message behind the ultimate train was the Mahima of Pramukh Swami Maharaj, and how that he is the inspirer of countless heroes and is also the maker of many ultimate trains. That London Mandir isn't just the ultimate train, it's every mandir that he's made throughout the world in its own sense is an ultimate train, because those teachings and values aren't just taught here, but they're taught worldwide.
The last 3 days are coming up and we're running out of energy. So everyone needed a boost. So at that point, we let Mahant Swami Maharaj know as well. Okay, Swami, this is the situation. 3 days left, and they're the main 3 days when double amount of people are going to come. So at that point, Swami sent this Ashirwad.
He found out that he knows that Bal Balikao Karyakarro have been doing amazing stuff for the last 7 days. But there's 3 days left and everyone's feeling a little bit tired, so we need Swami's energy.
That day, after listening to Swami's Ashirwad, they really filled everyone with the inspiration that was needed. And it was as if it was like a hidden, inspirational, silent boost that gave everyone the energy that took them through to the end. And without any complaint of tiredness, fatigue, and lack of motivation, all of that went. And everyone did a really great dhun, grand dhun, epic dhun. The Barak stood up and with utsa they danced to the dhun. The Karikars were very, very engaged and charged.
Hey Swami Narayan Nama Maravala. Hey Swami Narayan Nama Maravala. Problem solve karna Maravala. Problem solve karna Maravala. Hey Saru karna Maravala. Swami Narayan. Swami Narayan. Swami Narayan. Bol bol Mahant Swami ne, bol bol Bal Nagari ne, bol bol Island of Heroes ne, bol bol Karikar Mahant ne, Pramukh Maharaj, Shatabdi, Mahant ne, Shatabdi Mahant ne, Pramukh Maharaj, Shatabdi Mahant ne.
Doing well, man.
It's because you're not laughing at me.
Now it's time to get deeper. In your life, when have you felt, okay, you know what, Bapa's got my back? Him as a person, and you as an individual, what about him makes you give up everything for him? As someone who's obviously given their life up for Pramukh Maharaj, you've come from Dubai on holiday, as you know. Do you also have a family life? And you come here and I've seen you work till 2-3 in the morning. It's not normal for people outside to see a volunteer giving up 5-6 hours after work. What's pushing you?
As in, you can't, it's in your head, but you can't say it. Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes things go wrong in life, but where do we get the motivation to carry on? Where do we get the positivity to carry on? He's our source of positivity.
So even when in 2016, when my mother had a brain tumor and passed away, Bapa gave Ashwad, even in his very, very frail health.
My mum went through cancer and he gave a lot of blessings and guidance.
At that same time, in 2000 and late 2015, I had kidney problems and I had to be admitted to hospital for a few weeks and have my kidney removed. Again, Bapa was there with me holding my hand.
In one of my lowest moments of life, I resorted to writing a letter to Bapa. I had failed to get into university in my first attempt after A-levels. I was in a bit of a situation where I didn't know where to go, who to turn to.
So when I was studying pharmacy, I was doing it, I wasn't happy, super happy. And then I wrote a letter to Bapa. I was like, what do I do? Do I carry on?
Through numerous letters from 2010 to 2016, Swami has kept me going.
And his response, just that one letter was enough to get me through.
And he was like to me, do architecture or interior design? And so I applied and I got unconditional offers.
And I think by far that's the best decision that has been made for me.
In terms of writing, saying, okay, you'll get into medicine. And finally, in 2016, I got into medicine and now I'm working as a doctor.
And just the fact that he picked me up from my lowest moment.
He didn't even need to say a word, and just his mere presence was enough to reassure me, make me feel like that he's my own, and he's just always there, the one steady person who is always there throughout life.
Whether that be through letters, whether it be through his blessings and ashirwads, or whether it be through prayer, but he's always been there for me personally to make sure that we were looked after and making sure that...
Just over the years, just trusting Pramukh Maharaj and anything that he does, knowing that he's doing it for your benefit, and I feel like he's never let me down. Everything that I am today is because of him.
because without him, I don't think I'd be the person I was today. I definitely wouldn't, to be honest with you.
All of it shaped me in some way, shape or form.
It's crazy because you think actually Bapa's doing it for me, but then you talk to the person next to you and the person on the other side of you, and actually Bapa's touched all of them equally in the same way. So just the amount that Bapa has done for every single person and the way that he's done it became very clear to me that Pramukh Swami Maharaj is true, and he's the only one actually that is true in a sense. Everything that he has done has always been for others, never for himself.
Whatever issues that we go through, that Vishwas that we have Pramukh Swami Maharaj with us, we have Mahant Swami Maharaj, has been such a driving force.
So you get birth from that, you get motivation from that. And knowing, because Swami said that he'll always be with us. And whatever problems happened, now looking back at it in retrospect, something good came of it. Something better happened because of it. And I might not have realized at that time I would have seen it as a hurdle. And he obviously has our best interest at heart.
Bapa has always been there. So when Mahant Swami Maharaj says, "Ke have amaro varo che," all of this, any bit that any karikar does, anything that I have done, is just a fraction to show, "Ke Bapa, you've done so much for us. This is us just trying to do a tiny bit to repay you."
There's no words to describe how we feel, how, what he means to us. But this is just a small way to offer that tribute to him.
I just hope that the seva I did was good enough to give him a smile on his face, to make him happy. Because again, I can't imagine where I've achieved and where I've gone without him. I had no idea what to say. All that I wish is that he would be happy with me.
Whether it's the youngest child or the oldest Masi, right? Everyone's worked out why they want to please Swami. And only because of this one aim. It wasn't to make the Nagari amazing, it was to please Swami. And you see that and you think, what can I do more?
Have amaro varo che.
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 Now it's our turn.
Have amaro varo che.
Swami, you didn't tell us what happened on the final day.
Should I say the actual story?
Yeah, because I don't even know.
Okay.
We rocked up with an iPad into the gym. We're like, oh.
I don't know. How should I say this story? Okay, fine.
That's tapas.
Just from here, just from the road. Just give me the headset. You just speak. You do it. Yeah. So you speak. Monday,
So while doing puja, just a thought came to mind. Okay, it would be great while the Nagar's there to show Swami live how everything's running. And on this day was going to be the group picture, the group photograph. So all the barracks and balikas and volunteers, everyone was going to be at the front. So the Nagar itself at the beginning of the day was going to be empty. So that was a perfect time to show Swami around. So with this thought in mind, just talk to Uttam Yogi Swami. Swami, do you think it would be possible? Truly not believing that this was possible, but I thought let's ask anyway. And Uttam Yogi Swami asked who he needed to, and he said yes. And then with an iPad and phone, without even jumpers on, we ran to the school, to the Nagar.
Jasaran Gun Kirtan Sai, can you hear me?
Jai Saran Swami. Jai Saran. Swami, યોગેક સ્વામી અને સત્ય સ્વામી છે અહીંયા સ્વામી અને અહીંયા થોડાક નગર અહીંયા જે નગર ચાલે છે એના દર્શન કરવાના સ્વામી.
હા જે સાઈ સ્વામી આપણે મંદિરથી શરૂ કરીએ. સાઈ મંદિર સમક્ષ પ્રમુખ સાઈ મહારાજ ની મહામૂર્તિ છે અને મંદિરના સર્વમેનિયલ ગેટ થી બધા હરિભક્ત કે વિઝિટર્સ બધા અંદર પ્રવેશ કરે છે. અત્યાર સુધી સ્વામી લગભગ 50-55 હજાર જેટલા વિઝિટર્સ આવી ગયા છેલ્લા 9 દિવસમાં. આજે છેલ્લો દિવસ છે. આ બાલનગરીનો દ્વાર છે. બાલનગરીની વાત કરો તમે.
હા સ્વામી, તો અહીંયા 9 દિવસમાં અત્યાર સુધી સ્વામી 30,000 બાળકો અને પેરેન્ટ્સ બધા આવ્યા છે. તો આ આખું એન્ટ્રન્સ ગેટ છે સ્વામી. આખું દિવાલ સ્કૂલની રોનક આખી બદલાઈ ગઈ.
I don't think there's anything we can say to Bapa. It's like Pramukh Swami Maharaj is the one who's given our lives a purpose. He's given our lives a meaning. What do you say to that? I think it's just what we can do. And it's just a thank you to Bapa. Yeah? Like there's no words that can describe what you say to that. Like what do you even say?
અહીંયાથી એક કીપર્સ કેબિન છે સ્વામી, જ્યાં બધાનો ઇન્ટ્રોડક્શન અને વેલકમ થાય. અહીંયા લગભગ 50 થી 70 એક સાથે વ્યક્તિઓ આવી શકે અને અહીંયા એક આખું એક મેપ છે સ્વામી, 3D મેપ.
He was so important, so influential to so many people without even being physically near him. He had that much influence and presence in our life that helped us through it, that we just feel now that there's nothing, we have to give back. We have to make sure people know who he was and what he meant to us and why he was so important to so many people.
અહીંયા પછી સ્વામી આખું અહીંયા સેન્ટ્રલ આઇલેન્ડમાં આવે. તો સેન્ટ્રલ આઇલેન્ડ સ્વામી એને આખું રોનક અને ડેકોરેશન.
Have amaro varo to me means that it's my turn to give back as much as I can. And even though my giving back will just be a small percentage, this is my chance to thank my guru.
પછી આપણે જોયું માઉન્ટેન ઓફ શ્રવણ. અહીંયા એક નાનકડો સ્ટોર છે પ્રેમવતી જેવું, બાળકો માટેની પ્રેમવતી. And then room by room, terrain by terrain, area by area, Swami visited every single portion of the Nagar. And Swami did drashti on every area. એકદમ સરસ હાઇલાઇટ છે. શટલાઇટ્સ. અત્યારે જો આ કિશોરો બતાવે છે, પણ આ કિશોરીઓ અને યુવતીઓ અને બાલિકાઓ એ આખું આ શેડો પ્લે કરતા હોય છે અને એ શેડો પ્લે નું સ્વામી આ શેડો પ્લે એટલું ફેમસ થઈ ગયું કે ન્યૂઝમાં પણ આવી ગયું.
What did he want from us, right? He wanted us to become better people. He lived so that we could follow the path that he wanted us to follow. He didn't want anything else from us.
તો અહીંયા સ્વામી હવે માઉન્ટેન માંથી અહીંયા એક 3D show પણ સ્વામી અહીંયા જુએ છે માઉન્ટેનમાં.
I think the thing that inspired me the most was everything that Bapa has done for us, the Vichran and all the troubles that he's gone for us, and this is the most minimum we could do for him and make him proud.
એનો મેસેજ અહીંયા બધાને મળે છે.
Everyone is giving their heart and soul for Bapa, and I'm so lucky that I get to see that across the Nagar.
Sea of Squirrels એટલે કે રામાયણની ખિસકોલીની વાર્તા.
Celebrating grand festival, so all over the world people know who Pramukh Swami Maharaj was. He was a youth Purush. He was a legend. So this our turn to please him.
આ જોતા હોય છે તો અંદર અહીંયા બધા ક્લીન કરે અને આના પછી એનિમેશન સ્વામી આપણા અંદરથી અહીંયા સ્ક્રિપ્ટિંગ થયું અને આપણા મ્યુઝિક અને એવી વિભાગે આખું બનાવ્યું.
Producing these audio tracks that were successfully performed by these young children and seeing them so excited to share the message of Pramukh Swami Maharaj, and the audience not only appreciating the efforts of these children but also taking away that message that Pramukh Swami Maharaj had lived for us and we will live for him.
અને હાર્ડ વર્ક પુરુષાર્થનું આખું અને સમ હાર્ડ વર્ક અને સમનું આખું અહીંયા બાલિકાઓ અને કિશોરીઓ સ્વામી આ બધું હેન્ડલ કરે છે.
So Swami giving Ashirvad, saying that now it's our turn, like Pramukh Swami Maharaj has done so much for all of us. He's inspired us. Mahant Swami Maharaj has also done a lot for us. But giving that Ashirvad and giving us that inspiring words helped us through the tough moments and preparing. It gives you a bit of shanti inside.
Okay, Ayati, Jungle of Gajendra. Has Swami left? There is some other visual coming.
Swami is listening and he's saying everything.
Okay.
So Swami was explained everything in detail, and he did drashti on all the areas on a last-minute Zoom call. It was a truly amazing moment for everyone.
So I UV showma a Gajendra. Ajo Gajendra છે સ્વામી અને ગજેન્દ્ર અને આ મગર એની આખી વાર્તા આ રીતે યુવી શોમાં.
BAPS has done so much for me personally. It's just given me that little chance to try and give myself for this Shatabdi Seva and just give 100% commitment and do my little bit just to repay him for everything he's done for me. It was my little chance to repay Pramukh Swami Maharaj for everything he's done for me.
એટલે આનું આખું આપણે એન્વાયરમેન્ટ જોઈએ સ્વામી આયા જો આખું અહીંયા બહુ મહિલા મંડળ અને પુરુષો ડેકોરેશન બધાય આખું આ છે ને હાઉસ લાઈક સન.
I will never be able to live the life that you lived or take on the bhiro that you took on or even do the amount of seva that you did. But I do hope in these few months that I did seva, along with the other volunteers, I did it in a way that was able to make you Raji and that you would look at me and say that he's done seva in the correct way.
Very easy.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry. Okay. So jo action is this is an escape room, Swami.
I've been fortunate to have many moments with Pramukh Maharaj physically. I've been very fortunate to have all that love, and all of it shaped me in some way, shape or form. And it's only encouraged me to become a better Gayaka and a better Satsangi. I can never ever repay Pramukh Maharaj. It's impossible. But at least through this seva, I can say that I did him proud and I made him Raji because I did this for him.
Escape room, એટલે કે અહીંયાથી બધી puzzles activity છેલ્લે આ એક્ટિવિટી કરી અર્થના ગજેન્દ્રની આ રીતે જો પ્રાર્થના કરે છે એનો સ્વામી Little Heroes Forest નામનો.
Even though Pramukh Swami Maharaj throughout his life has abided by his vow of celibacy, that there seems to still be no boundary for us to be able to connect to him.
પછી રમતગમતની જગ્યા છે, પછી આ રીતે સ્વામી shadow play stories છે, જ્યાં પુરુષ પ્રયત્ન પ્રાર્થના.
Yogiji Maharaj in the Yogi Gita says in his Pratna to Shastriji Maharaj that Ame tamaru mahima ke to ame shishya sacha. So in that same way, I feel thank you for giving us this chance to be able to spread and to tell everyone Pramukh Swami Maharaj's mahima.
અહીંયા puppet show થાય સ્વામી, પછી ગાડીઓની રેસ થાય. નગરની એક highlight is village of Shanti. એટલે પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજ.
This is the greatest seva. Imagine on BAP's own Shatabdi, in a Pramukh Swami Maharaj Nagar, London's biggest Nagar since Mandir Mahotsav, where thousands of people are coming, unprecedented numbers. This group of people have been given the ability to get Pramukh Swami Maharaj's mema out there. So I think every single person here feels blessed.
અને જે 15 મિનિટનો સ્વામી નૃત્ય નાટિકા છે સ્વામી અલ્ટિમેટ આ બધા બોધ અને આપણે હીરો ક્યાં બની શકીએ તો છેલ્લે એ પાસપોર્ટ એ લોકોની પાસે જે હોય એ બતાવી અને અહીંયા આવે છે જે સિક્રેટ જગ્યા where heroes are made એટલે કે મંદિર સ્વામી.
And I know that thank you means absolutely nothing to what he's given us. That is just a drop in a large ocean. But just thank you for all he's given to me, whether it's been in the form of this mandir or within my own life.
અહીંયા બતાવવામાં આવે અને બધા લખે પોતાના અભિપ્રાયો.
This is for Bapa, this is Seva for Bapa, and it's for his Rajipur. So that's kind of what inspires us to just keep going.
હીરો કોણ છે એ આ મિરર્સમાં દેખાય કે તમે બધા છે ને તમારામાં અનંત શક્તિ છે.
And it's just nice to see that
all of them are doing it for the same thing. Everyone's doing it for Shatabdi.
પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજ ની આગળ વાત થાય છે અને સંપર્ક બંધ થાય છે. તે સ્વામી જો મિરર છે. ઓકે. તો અહીંયાથી સ્વામી હવે છેલ્લે આપણે વિલેજ ઓફ શાંતિ.
And at the end, he walked into, as in we took the iPad with Swami on it, into the village of Shanti gym. And that moment was really the pinnacle. On the last day, Swami showed his Rajipo.
હવે સ્વામી બધા સંતો, બાળકો, બાલિકાઓ, કાર્યકરો જેને ખૂબ જ મહેનત કરી છે, ખૂબ જ પુરુષાર્થ કર્યો છે સ્વામી, એ બધા અહીંયા છે સ્વામી.
I think Pramukh Swami Maharaj did see the whole Nagar. I believe that because Mahant Swami Maharaj saw the whole Nagar. And Mahant Swami Maharaj બધું જોયું ને, and when he said કે I and Pramukh Swami Maharaj are very pleased, એમાં બધું આવી ગયું.
બધા કાર્યકર ખૂબ મહેનત કરી છે અને રાત દિવસ જોયું નથી. જે ભાગ લેનાર બધાને બળબુદ્ધિ શક્તિ આપે અને વિશેષ ને વિશેષ આવું કાર્યક્રમ કરે.
So the amazing thing about this whole project was at the beginning on 30th of May, when the launch happened, Mahant Swami Maharaj spent an hour with all the Baraks and Karyakars. He launched the whole Island of Heroes. He was involved from then.
Swami, બે વીક પહેલા you filled our PS100 names form. તેમાં આપે કહ્યું હતું કે આપ all days નગરમાં હાજર રહેશો. You will be with us for all 10 days. તો બધાને પ્રશ્ન થાય છે કે આપ કેવી રીતે આવવાના છો અને કેવી રીતે હાજર રહેશો?
દિવ્ય દેહ.
On Sunday in the morning, Swami had seen everything and given everyone darshan and ashirwad. And at night, when the Nagar finished and the Bal Nagari was, had finished, all the volunteers gathered in the culture stage, and gathered in the talent stage at the front. and volunteers and barracks all felt Swami's presence at that time during the Bhajan Bhakti. And it was a really, really epic moment, a very divine moment that really showed the truthfulness of Swami when he said, Ke tya divya dehe hajar resh, Swami said on 30th of May. And that day, everyone really felt that. From the beginning of May, when he saw all of the plans in detail and said he'd be there, 30th of May, Swami was involved in the program where he launched the whole thing, the whole Nagar, the Island of Heroes. He interacted with all the barracks and karyakars and gave everyone inspiration to do seva, all the way to being there at every obstacle and guiding and giving ashirwad through all of those things, to opening the Nagar itself, to looking around the Nagar and giving inspiration during the Nagar, to giving his Rajipo at the end when he said, Ke he and Pramukh Swami, he wrote a very nice ashirwad, are very pleased and happy with everyone.
આપણા સૌના મોટા ભાગ્ય છે કે આપણને શતાબ્દીની સેવા મળી છે. પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજ શ્રીજી મહારાજના સર્વોપરી સંત હતા. એમની સેવા આપણને પ્રાપ્ત થઈ. બધાએ ખૂબ ભીડો બેઠીને મહિમા રાખીને સંપ રાખીને સેવા કરી છે. શ્રીજી મહારાજે વાત કરી છે કે આવી રીતે સેવા કરશે તેનું અંતઃકરણ શુદ્ધ છે અને તેને ભગવાનના ધામની પ્રાપ્તિ થશે. તમે બધાએ આ સેવા મન મૂકીને પોતાનો વ્યવહાર સામું ના જોઈને શુદ્ધ ભાવથી પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજને રાજી કરવાનું એક લક્ષ્ય રાખીને કરી છે. તો તમે બધાએ એમના માળાના મણકામાં આવી ગયા. મહારાજ ગુણાતીતાન સ્વામી અને ગુરુ પરંપરા ખૂબ રાજી થયા છે. બાળકો બાલિકાઓને પણ ધન્યવાદ કે રાત દિવસ જોયા વગર બાલનગરીની ખૂબ સેવા કરી છે. કાયમ માટેનું ભાતું બંધાઈ ગયું અને તમે સત્પુરુષને રાજી કરી લીધા.
Pramukh Swami made us all happy. Live for everyone, expecting nothing in return. In the joy of others lies our own. Live for everyone, expecting nothing in return. In the joy of others lies our own. In the joy of others lies our own. Come on, everyone, all together now. Thank you, Pramukh Swami, for making everyone happy. 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 Thank you, Pramukh Swami, for making all of us happy. Thank you, Pramukh Swami, for making all of us happy. Thank you, Pramukh Swami, for making all of us happy. Thank you, Pramukh Swami, forever making us happy. Forever making us happy. Forever making us happy. Pramukh Swami Maharaj Shatabdi Mahotsav ni Jai. Pramukh Swami Maharaj Shatabdi Mahotsav ni Jai. Pramukh Swami Maharaj Shatabdi Mahotsav ni Jai.
How are you? Are you happy? Thank you.
What we have just heard are only a handful of the stories of silent service. We pay a heartfelt tribute to each and every devotee for their spirit of service. Thank you.